Hi, everyone. So lovely to see so many of you jumping on and joining us for the first AppSmash session for the AppSmash Festival. I'm joined by the wonderful Kyle, and we'll do some intros in just a moment. But yeah, thank you all so much for jumping on. It's incredible to see so many of you in that chat already, and we're going to have a fantastic 30 minutes learning about how you can use Wakelet and Quizizz together. But first things first, introductions. My name is Amy. I work on the Wakelet team. For those of you who are new to Wakelet, I'm community manager here at Wakelet, and it's my job to ensure that the educators in our community and using the platform are getting the most out of it for yourself and for your students. So I also get to jump on and join these incredible sessions and activities. So if ever there are questions or support that you need from me, please do feel free to reach out. But I'll hand over to my co-presenter all that way.
Hey everyone, my name is Kyle. I am with the Quizizz team, very similar role, helping our community in all sorts of things. I was a teacher and tech coach for 16 years and have now been with Quizizz for about a year. So yeah, I'm really pumped, Amy. I think this is going to be amazing. So if I can kind of just get everyone all set for this half-hour session. So in the chat, we have someone from the Wakelet team who's going to pop a link into the chat. It is for a Quizizz lesson, and I'll share my screen in a moment, but I want to at least be here with you all just for a little while. And so here's what I'm going to tell you is I'd recommend you join the lesson. You don't have to. You can hang out here if you want to watch this on YouTube or StreamYard, and you'll still get hopefully a very good experience, and you'll see everything. But the best way that we do these webinars is with the Quizizz lesson, because we're going to ask you questions and have you interact and really get your feedback and throw out some things. So because we'd love you to be a part of the webinar instead of just kind of someone who's getting the information, we'd love you to join the lesson. So I'm going to share my screen, but the link hopefully is in the chat already. But if not, I'm going to share my screen. You have the information?
Yeah, if everyone jumps on that link there. It's in the chat there, and we'll pop it up on screen as well for anyone who may have missed it.
So what we'll do is we'll give everyone about 30 seconds to a minute or so to join, and like I said, and then we'll jump into it. But in the meantime, looks like people are already saying where you're from and a little bit about what you do, which is wonderful. So you can keep on doing that. We have people joining left and right, so thank you for joining.
Yeah, awesome to see so many familiar names on here as well. Hi, Lois. Lois from New Jersey there, one of our ambassadors. Anna there from Italy. Wonderful to see you all joining in the chat. So yeah, looking forward to getting started.
Yeah, this is going to be great. And I know we have a slide coming up, but I think since we're sitting here anyway, we might as well tell people what's coming up. So the plan for this half hour is we're going to do everything we can to give you lots of good information, hopefully in a way that's not, too much. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you some of the really cool stuff that's been happening in Quizizz over the last couple of months. And then Amy's going to show you some of the amazing updates in Wakelet. And then after that, we have this really, really cool partnership, integration, collaboration, whatever you want to call it, that we now have with Quizizz and Wakelet. So we obviously have to talk about that and show you some really cool ways that you can use both tools together in your classroom. And so hopefully you walk away from here with some cool ideas and a little bit of knowledge about the updates. How was that, Amy? Was that a pretty decent summary of what they're going to be in for?
Perfect summary, yes. And just to add on as well, I know a lot of you are looking out for that certificate link. We will be sharing an opportunity to get involved in that. A few exciting giveaways and competitions along the way, and we will share out all of the resources shared in this session. So yes, please follow along. You'll be able to grab those links from the lesson that you've joined now, but we'll also make sure you have those as a follow-up. So if you do want to watch back and check out the resources we share, we'll make sure you have those with you.
Perfect. All right, so let's get started. So again, we have someone from the Wakelet team who has the link, so we'll get started. But if you have not joined yet, she'll keep on throwing the link out there. You can always join in the middle of a lesson if you decide you want to kind of hop in and join us. And so I'm going to hit start so you can kind of experience it. So if you've never done a Quizizz lesson, I just want to give you a little, we'll say, tech housekeeping just to make this hopefully a really good experience for you all. It's almost like you can experience this now, this webinar, from two different places. You can do it from the Quizizz lesson and from the YouTube channel or wherever you're watching this from. So we're going to do our best to have you so you don't have to hop back and forth. But there will be some times where we're going to say, hey, come on over and look at this one screen and this other screen. So we'll do our best to tell you so you're not confused about where you should be looking. But for the most part, you can stay right here on your slides for the Quizizz lesson. All right, let's do it. So we already went over the agenda, but like I said, we're going to do some Quizizz stuff, some Wakelet stuff, some AppSmash stuff, and of course, some giveaways along the way. We got some swag packs and some shirts and that sort of thing. So the first question I'm going to give you, so this is an interactive question, is we kind of have an idea of where you're at based on the chat, but not completely. So in front of you should see a little bit of a map, and we're going to ask you just to put a little dot, a circle, a star, a smiley face, whatever makes you happy. But it's always really cool for us to see where people are from when we're doing these webinars. And so Amy, you can see my screen, yeah?
I can indeed, yeah.
So what's really cool is that we can look at people like individually. If we want to just in general see like where Anne's from. Looks like Anne is kind of over from my neck of the woods in the Jersey area. But we can do like a little hotspot kind of situation besides this kind of crazy line here to give us an idea generally where people are joining us from. So it looks like we got kind of US, we got South America, we got some Africa, Europe. We're kind of all over, which is pretty amazing. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to give you again a couple more seconds to let us know where you're from, and then let's get on.
I've put mine in as well.
Oh. All right, so then the two questions we want to ask too is because this is an AppSmash. So there's a chance that some of you are huge, gigantic Wakelet fans and don't know Quizizz very well, or huge Quizizz fans and don't know Wakelet well, or potentially both. So we like to always know who's in the room before we kind of start the webinar and not make any assumptions. So the first question is, how familiar are you with Wakelet? And you see we have some gifts here as far as the expert, the dabbler. What did I put here? I said hotshot, dabbler, curious bystander, or what in the world is Wakelet? Which I can't imagine there's many people in that boat, but you never know. And it looks like, as you can see, Amy, we're very heavy on the experts, dabblers, and we got a couple people that are only a little bit, and some people are
fantastic. That's great as well.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put mine on this one.
I'm always excited when we have people on this side because it's like amazing. Yes. We're going to show you some new stuff. Okay, cool. So that's good to know that we're kind of there. And then same question for Quizizz, same gifts, same everything. But like, what do you know about Quizizz? So I don't, again, breeze through this.
See, the great thing about this is through the process of putting this session together, I've learned a lot more about Quizizz. So for me as well. Yeah, and same for me with Wakelet. So it looks like here we're a little heavier on the right side, which is not so many experts, some dabblers, and a lot of kind of bystanders, and some people who have never used Quizizz. So for those, again, brand new people, welcome. This is a Quizizz lesson. There's lessons and there's questions. And so right now you're experiencing a lesson. Cool. Then I'll make sure I don't breeze through too fast, given the fact that we have a lot of people who are not completely experts with Quizizz. All right, but let's get into a main reason, hopefully not the main reason you're here, but a nice perk of being here is the giveaways. So our plan right now is to make sure that we give away some amazing stuff. So Quizizz, we have a pretty cool kind of swag shop that you're gonna be able to grab any shirt you want. And then Amy from Wakelet, you all are sending, again, a whole swag pack with a shirt and some other goodies in it. Is that right? Yes, that's correct. And what we like to do is we like to have multiple ways that you can win. So we're going to kind of spin the wheel. You'll see there's a wheel spinner here built into a lesson. So as long as you're in the lesson, you're eligible. And then we're going to do 2 at the end. I'll skip the Twitter X one for now. We'll do 2 at the end as a feedback form that you get your certificate. And we'd love to hear what you think. So we'll pick 2 from there. And I know not everyone's on Twitter or X, but if you are, we're going to pick 2 people from there. And what I always like to do is I make a whole tweet for you. So if you click on this, because you go to click on it, it basically says like I'm at an AppSmash thing with Amy and Kyle learning about 2 tools, Wakelet and Quizizz, and it has a cool little GIF attached to it when you tweet it about how we're working well together. So what I always recommend you do is like hit this button a couple times, and then as you see something cool that pops up, you can customize that tweet or add a screenshot or whatever you want to do to make sure that you're sharing whatever you think is the most valuable to your community. All right, so we have lots of ways to win. All right, so again, my job is the Quizizz updates, and I just did a whole webinar on what's new with Quizizz, and it took over an hour, and I still went over an hour. So my goal was in just 5 minutes to show you just some of the highlights, some of the top things. So the main thing that everyone's talking about, I think probably in the world, but also in the Quizizz community, is the Quizizz AI. And again, because there's people here who have never experienced Quizizz, very short and sweet. Quizizz is an amazing platform that helps students assess and practice reviewing their content in all sorts of ways. But AI can hopefully make it a little bit easier. So as you can see, I embedded a Wakelet, which is a cool thing you do on Quizizz. But of course, I had this already. Amy, this was not me just trying to get this ready for the show. I put all my stuff already on Wakelet. I promise you, this is authentic.
Whenever I try to capture tweets, I always throw them on Wakelet. So on your screen, you should be able to scroll and see a little bit of the buzz that's kind of been happening over the last couple of weeks about people getting really pumped about the Quizizz AI. And so right now what I want to do is I want to show you. And so on your screen, you should see a GIF. And so this is my favorite, the AI Enhance. And so there's lots of tools out there right now that are, again, I'm not saying anything bad about any other tools. There's amazing tools out there. They're doing really cool stuff with creating quizzes. But since there's already like millions and millions of really amazing quizzes already on Quizizz, what we're focused on is helping you take those quizzes and just enhance them and make them incredibly awesome. So this was just released this past week. So for all of my Quizizz users out there, if you log into a quiz, pick a question, and you'll see attached to it is this little like section where it says, what do you want to do? Do you want to fix the grammatical errors? Do you want to turn it into a real life scenario? Do you want to translate it to a different language? Do you want to simplify the wording of the question? And I put here for whatever reason, at all the things that Quizizz AI can do, this has been like the thing that teachers have been really loving the most, which is basically taking your question and making it sound like a famous person wrote it. So I just did Lucius Malfoy just because, he's like a bad guy in Harry Potter and it just makes the question kind of funny. But like people have been doing like this with, Lucius Malfoy and Yoda and Iron Man and Mr. Beast and all sorts of things. Like, so that seems to be the favorite right now, is just making your questions more fun, pretending as if they were written by someone else. So this is the very short version of Quizizz AI. And then we also, this is not out yet, this is coming out next week, hopefully, is that create piece where you can create a quiz if you want to from all different areas. So that means you can create it from a Google Slides or a PowerPoint that you turn into a PDF. You could simply put in a prompt, says, make me a quiz about digestive system. And I just learned this from Mel, Australian Mel, who did a webinar. I didn't realize you can do this because it was kind of like a hidden thing. You can actually take any YouTube video, or pretty much any YouTube video, and put that where it says paste in a link, and it'll like read the transcription and create a quiz from a YouTube video. So the main message here is that if you want to create, this is going to be getting out next week, free for everyone. That'll leave you a whole lot of different amazing options to create. And now this question here, actually, I'm going to preface it before I go over to it. I just had a meeting like an hour before with our head guy for AI. And the next step we're trying to do, which makes me really, really happy as like a differentiation in UDL kind of person, especially again, when I was in the classroom, is the next focus on Quiz AI is to how do we use our AI to help differentiate the content a little bit on Quizizz. And so I said, I'm doing a webinar in an hour. Let me just ask the people who are there for their thoughts and their feedback. So this is like truly, as of an hour ago, what you're about to say could very well take us in whatever direction makes the most sense for the first step for differentiating on AI or on quizzes, like truly differentiating different level quizzes. So let me read it out to you. You're welcome, of course, to answer. But here's the question. We were just saying that we really want to do a good job of like the simplified version. I know differentiation means everything, but like take a quiz and click a button, and all of a sudden now you have 3 different versions of the same quiz, right? And in theory, they're differentiated. My question to you, audience members and techie people, is like differentiation can mean so many different things. So what would be the first step that you think we should do when it comes to differentiating? So it's hard for me to see here on my end, but I put like, does differentiation mean like, okay, you take a multiple choice question, and for the quote unquote easier, I'm using easier and hard, and I know those are not the right terminology, and I don't like to usually use them, but just for the sake of this right now, the easy version takes 4 options down to 2 options, and the harder version turns a multiple choice into like an open-ended or fill in the blank. So it's just like changing the question. Would it be better if we differentiated by like changing the lexile level or reading level for a grade lower or grade higher? Would it be better with timing, where like the easier version gives you more time and then maybe the harder version shortens the time limit? Would it be better if we included like answer explanations for maybe the easier quiz? Or is it just simply like the last option is we take our quiz, and for like the quote unquote hard version, we throw in extra 5 questions at a little bit higher level. For the easier version, we throw in extra 5 questions that are more practice level. And for the middle, we just kind of throw in 5 more questions at the same level. Again, like there's all different ways we can go. So I'm curious where to go. So Amy, if I'm going to put you on the spot here, because I haven't seen yet, I haven't gotten to the poll to see. What do you think? I haven't. What do you think is going to be the top choice, or what would your top choice be?
I mean, I'm all about giving multiple choice, especially with those. So I think, yeah, I'd go for the first option there.
Okay, let's see. What is the Wakelet and Quizizz community say? So we're looking at, we have only 6 there. I wonder why this is so low. I wonder, something seems off here. All right, so if you haven't rang in, make sure you put in your answers here. But it seems even across the board there. That's interesting. Okay. Cool. All right. And then the last updates I want to do, and again, first of all, thank you for that. Thank you for helping us in our direction there. And I said this too, if there's anything else that wasn't on there or you didn't get a chance to answer, like by all means, please throw it in the chat. Like your feedback is super, super valuable to us to know like what we should do with Quizizz AI. And real short and sweet, we have some new question types that are coming out this week and next week again. We have this categorized question type, which is going to be really simple, but it's putting things into different categories. So sometimes simple questions are really amazing. It'll be great for younger level students. And we finally have a text heavy question, which is like a comprehension question, which is like multiple questions for like one passage with like audio and reading and all that sort of stuff. So we have 2 brand new question types coming out. And let me just say, I know I'm going like crazy fast here because I want to make sure we get to like the main part here with Wakelet and Quizizz. We're going to send all this stuff out to you. So please know that in these resources, we'll share these slides with you so you have everything you need. And my last just solely Quizizz thing, I could not put this on here with the holiday season going to be here before we know it. People seem to really, really love doing escape rooms with quizzes and turning your memes turning your memes into secret letters and escape rooms and things like that. So if you've never done this before, I just want to let you know it's possible. We're going to share this Wakelet collection with you, which will take you through everything. But like if you're someone who likes escape rooms and you want to turn any Quizizz quiz into an escape room, it's a really, really cool thing to do. A lot of people seem to really love it around the holiday season, and we did all the work for you, and we'll share all these resources with you. So I just want to at least put this out here, share our Wakelet collection, and let you know that this is some really, really great stuff that people love around this time of year. So Amy, I know that was fast, but hopefully that was good for our audience. Cool AI stuff, cool new question types, and some cool escape rooms. But at this point, I do want to turn it over to you so you have enough time to share all the cool Wakelet stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I love the meme collection, and I love that AI update. I'm really intrigued to try it out with the YouTube, switching that over to a quiz. I think that sounds awesome and a real time saver, particularly if you've put together a lesson and then you're wanting to, transfer that into a quizzes there. So yeah, really cool updates. Thank you so much. And a lot of love for that in the chat there. But yes, I wanted to give an overview and jump in just to give, for those of you who are completely new to Wakelet, just to give you a quick overview of who we are and of what we are. So in its simplest form, Wakelet allows you to convert links, any kind of media really, from the web into contextualized pieces of content that we put in what you call collections. So you build these collections, you tell a story, and this can be used in a whole range of different ways. We have teachers using it to deliver lesson plans. We've got some great examples of those in just a moment. Newsletters, we have students building them build portfolios. But yes, in its simplest form, Wakelet allows you to turn links into living, breathing, interactive items that you can use, present, and share as well. So if you just jump into the next slide, so it allows you to organize that content. So it's great for sharing out resources. It's great for having your students contribute to those as well, creating lesson plans, sub-plans, and lots of different ways there. But one of our exciting updates at the moment, and we've got a video just to show you a short overview of that, is the classrooms functionality. So some of you might have already used this on Wakelet before, but we have added some really cool updates to this functionality. So we're super excited to allow those of you who maybe haven't been able to use this. We're releasing trials so that you can test it out and use that with your students. And the great thing about classrooms is it allows you to use Wakelet with your students in that safe and secure environment. So you're able to have them use Wakelet in a similar way that you can, but you can now do that step extra. You can set them assignments, you can set them activities, we call them, and they can actually complete the collections that you've given them. Maybe you wanted to a step-by-step for them, or have them complete a template, or even start building their own portfolio. And what that allows you to then do with that activities functionality there as well is it allows you to see their progress. It allows you to see what they're doing, and it allows you to create that feedback back and forth, and it makes it all in one place for you. So you're able to view what they're doing, which is fantastic. So you can provide that feedback, but also it makes it super easy for them to submit that work back to you as well. So we've included a video in there that you can watch through with that, but we will be giving a few resources down the line as well, and some templates, which is going to make that super easy for you to get started with if you haven't tested that one out before.
Amy, do you want me to play the video for everyone, or you want me to just leave this for them to play on their own time when they're ready?
They can play that one on their own. So you can, especially because if you haven't tried it out, it's a really nice step-by-step. But if you've got classrooms already, you'll be able to see.
Cool. All right. And so after the Wakelet updates, we said we would do our first giveaway. So we're going to spin the wheel. This is a part of a Quizizz lesson. And again, I'm leaving this right here. If you want, this could be a cool time after. Hopefully you just saw some cool stuff on Wakelet and Quizizz that you want to tweet out. But we're going to spin it one time, and we will make sure that we reach out to you. We'll get your email and everything at the end. So our first winner of a swag pack and a Quizizz shirt of their choice looks like it's going to be Rebecca. So we can't have Rebecca Rios because she's actually part of the Quizizz team who's just here to hang out. Hey, Rebecca. But we're not going to give you a swag pack. That's so funny.
Love that.
Okay. Oh, that was a team there. All right. So Naomi, if I'm saying your name right, we will make sure that we get you, I'm going to screenshot this, that we get you all your information, and we'll get you your giveaway. Congrats to our very first winner.
Congratulations, Naomi. Yeah, make sure we'll message you, but if not, just ping us your details as well, either myself or Kyle, and we'll make sure we get that swag pack to you.
Yep. Perfect. All right. So now the main event, Amy. Are you ready?
Yeah, of course. So why you are all here, of course, to learn about two fabulous tools, but we want to also provide you with some inspiration that you can take away, and maybe you question, how do I merge these two tools together? Well, we're here to answer that question. So for a while now, there have been educators using it. So I've got a few examples just to showcase that. The first one I want to jump into, and again, if you're in the lesson, if you're in the Quizizz lesson, you'll be able to scroll through and take a look at this links here. But this collection was actually created by Ms. Jenkin Rivera. If you haven't already, she's a fantastic music teacher who has got loads of fantastic lesson plans like this. And I really love how she sets them all out. It's really clear and concise for her students, but she uses so many different types of media in there as well. So it's really exciting. It's really visual for her students. So one thing I love about this is that, like with Wakelet, you can kind of list and you can put all of that content in and you can tell that story. But this is great for creating lessons for your students to work through. So now they've got one place where they can work through it. You can give them prompts and you can provide them with videos that they can watch through. The prompts are really handy for them to then actually kind of see what they're meant to be taking from the media that you're giving them and the resources that they're looking at as well. And then at the end, Quizizz is a great way to then test what they've learned and find out their understanding and test their knowledge at the end. So with this Quizizz at the end here, if you do want to check that one out, it's fantastic as well, because not only has this educator tested on the knowledge of the subject as well, but they have asked them a little bit more about the lesson plan itself. So did you enjoy using Wakelet? And did you enjoy using this tool? How did you find it? What were the resources like for you? So not only are you then asking them and testing them on the knowledge, it's giving her feedback as well as to how that lesson is put together and making sure that they're really engaging with the content that you're putting together. Because, you know, you're spending the time putting this content together. Of course, you want to know that it's being received in a way that they're going to best understand and learn from that information as well. So this is a great way to use the two tools together and a really cool one to take from there. This one here is a really cool example of using that student choice. So again, using Wakelet to add in those different resources that you want your students to have access to. You can take in all of the different links. And again, you've checked these, you have made sure that these are the correct links that they want to be working from and that they're going to get the most information from. But the difference here is that now you're giving them an opportunity to showcase their understanding and showcase their learning through different methods here. So yes, if you want them to use a video, they can, but also if you want them to use Nearpod or a Quizizz test there as well, they can do so that way. So it's giving them the option not only to showcase their understanding, but kind of have a way, and it's really important in assessment that we're doing that because people learn differently, and therefore by giving them those options, it's a great way to showcase or for them to take more responsibility of their learning and understanding and showcase in a way that makes sense for them as well. So Quizizz is a perfect opportunity to do so there. This one here is, I was really inspired by this one because it's kind of the start of a template idea here that I thought would be fantastic, more for a kind of like a student knowledge tracker. So if you've joined any webinars before and you've heard me talking about the column layout, you know me, I love the column layout in Wakelet. I think it's a really great way to organize and showcase lots of different content. But I love it used in kind of that organizational way of tracking and doing kind of like a step-by-step. And so what this educator here has done is started putting in the resources, the objectives, the learning outcomes that are used for these different modules. So in each of these columns, you've got module overview, and you've got the lesson, and you've got all the resources they need. But not only that, is then what they've done is they've added these Quizizz links. So rather than just saying, okay, we've done this whole project and now we're going to test your knowledge right at the end, this is a really nice way to be able to test, or at least give the students the opportunity to check in with their understanding as they move along. So after each module, after each lesson, and to be able to then review for themselves as well, and kind of look back and say, okay, I need to focus a little bit more on this module. I wasn't quite understanding it. Maybe I need to revisit something here. So it's a really nice way to kind of have that step-by-step move along, but also kind of look at your own progress as you go along. And it's a great way for you yourself as the educator to make sure that your students are understanding as you move along a project, because if it's split into different modules, it's important that, what you're doing in each is understood and being received well by the students as well. So those are some cool ways that it's being used as a link into Wakelet collections there as well.
But now, are you ready to tell them what just came out last week?
Yeah. Yeah. So for those of you who may not have seen, we did do a bit of a teaser as well, which was fun. And quite a few of the community did guess this one, but we were super excited to announce that we have now made it even easier for you to use Wakelet and Quizizz together. And we've now made it so you can actually embed a Quizizz into a Wakelet collection. So it's super easy to do. If you look at this video here, if you've put together your Quizizz, you can grab that embed link and pop it straight into your collection here, like this video is kindly showing. And so you can grab that link, pop it in, and what that means is then you've got it all in one place. So we've got a few examples to showcase and show you of that in action as well. I'll let you scroll through them, but basically what that means is, rather than, say, if you're putting together a lesson plan, rather than having them jump out, it's a good way to keep them all in one place and have them, maybe testing themselves along the way. It's a really good way to break up a lesson plan. I think it's the next example that we have in here. It's a great way to kind of showcase some examples or some resources, have them work through, give them prompts, but rather than, again, having one at the end, they can just kind of do it without. So again, you're kind of testing their learning throughout the lesson. And it also means that you can have lessons. I'm going to throw this one over to you within those collections, but it's a really nice way to use Quizizz in a lesson plan there as well.
All right, yeah. So I'll get to the lesson, but like it's just so cool now. So like I can't stop but like jump in. But like you said, Amy, people have been integrating Quizizz and Wakelet for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
And now it just makes it really, really clean where they can do it right there in the Wakelet. They don't need to go to a different screen, as you can kind of see right here. It's like I'm still in the Wakelet. And again, if you're looking at my screen, or again, if you're on the lesson right now, you can by all means try yourself and just click on it, and you'll see you'll start taking the quiz, and you haven't even left the. Let's see if I got this one right. Nice. You haven't even left the Wakelet, and you still get all the answers, the memes, all the great stuff, the streak bonuses, the leaderboard, all the kind of stuff is right there in the Wakelet. You don't have to leave it. So this is like a really great way to pop it into the lesson. And as Amy said, I wanted to show this one too, because like we're doing a Quizizz lesson right now. So again, there's lessons and there's quizzes. So lessons embed too. So if for some reason, not for some reason, but like if you wanted to, in a Wakelet, like start the whole thing off with a lesson, you could embed a Quizizz lesson, which is like we're doing now, where the kids explore and they go through slides and they answer questions. And it's like this whole kind of interactive experience. And then it has the questions and everything there. And then they scroll down like you would in a lesson. I just put it here, like amazing fraction resource, whatever you want to choose for Wakelet. And at the very end, you could always embed a quiz. So it just kind of creates a nice opportunity to do lessons and quizzes right there in Wakelet. It's pretty magical. And we're really, really excited about this.
So much so that we want to kind of get you started straight away with it because we have actually put together a template for you to pick up and go with it. So we were speaking about kind of what you can put together, and we've left this for you to design with the subject topics. We've just put a few prompts in here, but really this one you can just simply copy it down, whether that's in classrooms or whether it is in your own Wakelet area. You can make a copy of that. And I really love this Quizizz. This one is a template, but feel free to make that your own. You can use that as a starting point. I do like the fact check, the 2 truths and a lie. So if you're teaching a particular topic, it's a fun and different way to test that understanding. And you can put all of the resources within your collection and then have them stay within it and do that Quizizz in there as well. So we're going to give you that to take away. Throughout the next 2 days, there's going to be lots of templates for you to pick up and go with all of the different partners that we're showcasing throughout these 2 days. So if you check out that link, again, we'll make sure you have all of that information afterwards as well. But yeah, you'll be able to just grab that collection and go with it, because it's a perfect way to sort of merge the two together and get started with your students with it. But yeah, Justina there, 2 truths and a lie, great. Yeah, I really love that one when I saw it as well in the templates there. So fantastic there. But yeah, I think
that's it. We're already over time, which is crazy. I feel like
time flies when you're having fun.
So let me bring it home for us, if that's okay, Amy. So again, make sure you follow us. This is linked to Wakelet's Twitter X page. This is Quizz's Twitter page. And this is a great place to never fall behind on all the amazing updates. So if you're not following us, make sure you follow us. As Amy said, in a moment, we're going to give you the form to fill out so you can get your certificates. We'll also make sure you get your resource, which will tell you about the replay locations on YouTube and on the doc itself. So please make sure you follow. Please make sure you fill out the form in just a moment. But before we do our form, we promised you giveaways. So this is our last spinning giveaway. And again, we'll say your last chance to tweet. Of course, you can tweet whenever you want, but this is the end of our webinar already. So I'm going to spin the wheel. Rebecca, you can't win again. Naomi, you can't win again. But it looks like...
I'm waiting to see my name now.
I know. It looks like it's going to be Helena. Beautiful. So Helena and Naomi, when you fill out the feedback form and we get your information, we'll reach out to you. And if somehow we don't, like I said, Amy said, reach out to either of us on Twitter or email, and we will make sure you get your prize. But congratulations. And this is your form. So there's a QR code right here. Right. And then it's also linked, which, again, if you're on the slides right now, depending on wherever you're accessing this from, and Elle on the Wakelet team, I imagine, is going to pop the link into the chat. Maybe I'm just making that assumption, but hopefully there's multiple opportunities for you to fill this out so you can get your certificate. Anything else? Yeah. And also, remember, 2 people from this feedback form are also, we're going to pick for the win for this swag pack. Is there anything else there I'm missing here, Amy?
Exactly that. Yeah, we've put that link in the chat for you there. If you complete that form there, and we'll be able to send you all of the resources that we've shared, the template, and you'll be entered in that competition as well for even more goodies as well. But yeah, that's all for the competition there.
Perfect. So our last slide, which I'm not going to go to because I want to leave this slide up as long as I can for everyone, but it's basically just saying thank you, and that thank you for showing up on which is a crazy time of year right now, whether it's the end of summer for you or beginning of school, or if you're down in Australia, the middle of the school year, whatever's going on. We appreciate you all showing up and learning about Quizizz and Wakelet. Like I said, please follow, please stay in touch with both of us, Amy and myself. We definitely want to make sure that we can teach you everything we can and learn alongside with you. So that's all I have from me. It's just thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle. And thank you, everyone, again. Just to echo what Kyle said there, we do really appreciate you taking any time out of what we know is such a busy time, such a busy day. So thank you for spending just over 30 minutes, apologies, with us. And if ever you have any questions about Wakelet quizzes, you know where we are. And we hope you enjoyed the session and all of the resources shared. And there will be other sessions throughout the next 2 days, so make sure you're keeping an eye out for those as well. But for now, yeah, thank you all so much for joining, and we hope to see you all very soon. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.